What's going on to all of my Capricorns? You have the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, Five of Swords, Three of Pentacles, Five of Wands. You have the Ten of Pentacles, the Judgment, the Strength, and last but not least, the Chariot. So for you Capricorns, the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Wands speaks to somebody that is kind of arrogant. And because the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands, right? I should say the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands is a person who is arrogant, but they, right, the Knight of Wands, they appear to be having their heart in the correct place. So they only appear to be that way, where they're trying to make it seem like the reason why it is that one of the reasons why they're hanging out with you is because they like you and they are fair in the way that they like you. So the way that they're approaching you is to be brutally honest so that they can help get you to the next level. Because according to them, they want you to be better. When, I mean, of course, you know, but you can always help somebody be better, but you don't have to be cruel. You know, you don't have to be disrespectful in your, or overly rough in the way that they do things. You know, as long as it's true and as long as it's directly to the point, then there's no real cause for them to be cruel. What they want, the Five of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, what they want to do is that they want you to think of them as having all of this value, right? And that level of over enthusiasm when it comes to being brutal, right? Like being direct is exactly the reason why it is that you're not with them anymore. Or you're thinking about not being with them, I should say. Some of you probably still will be with them, but at the same time, the Five of Swords is that it's getting to a point where it's too much, because you have to disagree with, when you disagree with them, it's always this blow up. It's always this argument, right? And we all know that you Capricorns are not with the whole arguments, because you know, you Capricorns like to be down to earth. Y'all like to have fun, quiet as it's kept. And as a result, you don't really like people trying to create so much stress around you. So the thing is that the Three of Pentacles, right, is about, now that since this is the case, the Three of Pentacles is that you're starting to look at it and be like, okay, well, what type of value does a person bring into your life? And that's the way that you really want to judge relationships with people, right? Based upon value. And I'm not necessarily saying based upon what it is that they can offer you all the time, right? Because then that's transactional. It's more so within the quality of the people that you have around you. A lot of times people don't really have a lot of good quality individuals around them that they can really, count on. And you are the people who you hang around, right? Birds of a feather flock together. So a lot of you Capricorns understand that it's not them. It's not them, because they're coming off, they're basically choosing to be like this, where, they're wishy-washy. 1 minute, it's like, they're cool, and the next minute when it comes to, saying something, when you ask them a question, it's always they have to be excessively direct, right? It's to a point where it's like, all right, okay, you're putting a little bit too much on it. There's always some sort of artistic flair on top of it, even though it's not needed, right? And this is what the two of you can't necessarily get along, right? And the two of you end up having a clash because of it, because the two of you have different styles. You Capricorns want to handle the situation one way when it comes to the relationship, and they're not necessarily on the same page with you, because your partner is supposed to be on the same page with you. Yes, no one is perfect. Yes, the two of you will have disagreements, but generally speaking, right, 8 out of 10 times, the two of you should be on the same page, right? Every, the 2 out of 10 times, every now and again, the two of you have a disagreement on something. Two of you may start going, not super back and forth, but the two of you will have to agree to disagree on certain things. Maybe the two of you may actually have to sit down and have a talk with each other, right? Depending on the importance of the conversation. But the Five of Wands, okay, the Five of Wands is, again, it just seems like everything that starts off fairly cool can end up turning into this lecture that this person, you know what I mean, is trying to give to you. And the things that Ten of Pentacles, you're tired of that. You thought you got into trying to get to know this person, or you agreed to know this person if it was going anywhere, right? If it had some kind of purpose. But the Judgment, this person just seems to be giving you a hard time, and because they're always on, they're on your back, always trying to tell you what to do. If you're finding value within this reading, then it means it's time for you to come get a personal reading from me. There's a link in the comment section called the link tree. Click on it. It'll redirect you to a website in which it has all the ways in which you can support me, as well as financially support me as well. From my Instagram page, the books that I have that are on Amazon, private tarot readings, as well as my clothing store. And if you need any kind of help setting up a private tarot reading, right, and there'll be an option that says private tarot reading, and you can always feel free to send me an email, Kareemspiritworks@yahoo.com. Thanks. But so then you have the Strength and the Chariot. The Strength and the Chariot is about, again, their arrogance, their ego is getting in the way of the progress of the relationship, because they shouldn't be acting like this towards you. They shouldn't be acting like this towards a person that specifically they're supposed to be getting to know, right? How you gonna revolt against the same person that you would have eventually been in a relationship with? That doesn't even make any sense. But the Chariot just goes to show you how crisscross the person is, because the person is being mad stern and severe with you, always giving you a problem, because for them, they think that they are doing what a relationship is supposed to do, bringing it along, when in actuality they really could just be having a disagreement with you, or several, I should say, a lot or plural disagreements with you, based upon, they like to bicker. They like to do things like this. So let's clarify some cards. Let's clarify the Judgment. So yeah, so the Eight of Pentacles, King of Wands, right? The Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands, right? So again, the Eight of Pentacles, the King of Wands, every time, you're trying to move forward with your life and trying to move forward with your life with this relationship, this person is getting in the way. No, because they have to be right. They can't allow themselves to agree to disagree. They have to be right. They have to be, it has to be their way or no way at all. The Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands represents, but eventually you Capricorns will move forward without them, right? Whenever it is that you decide to leave. More than likely, a lot of you Capricorns probably have decided to leave. By the time you see this video, probably will decide to leave. But that will be good for you, because who wants to be in a relationship with somebody who puts them down, who always is talking about, it's their way versus the highway? You got to do something specific or one way to be with somebody. Let's clarify the Strength. Let's clarify the Strength card. The Chariot which we're going to clarify next, the Seven of Swords, the Judgment, and the Two of Wands, right? So everything is making sense. Everything is all encompassing. To clarify the strength, we have the Chariot, the Seven of Swords, the Judgment, right? Like I said before, they think that they are doing what it is that a relationship is supposed to have so that they can bring the relationship along or carry it along, because, you know, that's what a relationship is. The Judgment and the Two of Wands the Judgment represents you and how it is that you need to actually leave these people by themselves, because they're too caught up with having a disagreement, and they think that's what's healthy. Like I said before, a disagreement is good in a relationship, but as long as it happens as much as it needs to. It's not a matter of, if it happens too much, then it means that's letting you know that you shouldn't be with the person, because the two of you can't get along. So the Judgment and the Two of Wands represents just how much the two of you opposed each other. You're someone that wants a certain thing, right? You may want the two of you to work together as a team. The Two of Wands, they don't want that. They equate fighting in a relationship as being synonymous to being healthy. And obviously that's not true. You know, what about all the couples that, yeah, they disagree, they clash heads, but at the same time, for the most part, they agree on most things, right? So let's clarify the Chariot. So we have the Ace of Swords, the Justice, okay, the Knight of Cups, and the Ace of Wands, right? Because the Ace of Swords, the Judgment, right, is about how you were right to leave them alone. So this person, you know, probably started too many disagreements with you, some of them out of nowhere. You know, they escalated a situation, and now this is you. You don't want to have anything to do with them. You know, they're finally getting what it is that they deserve, because now they won't have you around to give them for them to give you a difficult time. The Knight of Cups and the Ace of Wands is you leaving, and the Ace of Wands is them talking a lot of stuff about you on your way out. The Ace of Wands also is them, like I said, talking that smack by them saying that you'll never find someone as good as they were to you. Completely delusional. So overall, this reading is a good reading for you, because this is about how you realize that you don't want to be with somebody that the two of you are not really on the same page, as you shouldn't be. But for me, I think that a lot of you stayed in this interaction a little bit too long. You know, like I said before, if you're having a disagreement with somebody a lot, then it means that you should probably leave them alone based upon that, right? Because you can't hang out with them you can't get to know somebody who's going to give you a hard time. But overall, this is a very good reading. Just remember who your friends are. Just remember the people who really rock with you. And if you know someone really cares for you, then gravitate to them. If not, then leave them alone.